How are you?
I'm good.
Come on in.
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you?
Yeah, it's, it's this is a roller coaster for sure these last couple of years, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we came in for, right?
100%.
You know?
Yeah, man, it's fun.
Yeah, some days it's up, some days it's I don't want to be part of society anymore, and other days I just, Do you feel like that sometimes?
I already feel like I'm not really a part.
Yeah. I mean, people are... It's good and bad, I mean, some days I just want to live off grid. I just want to move out because people are fucking crazy.
Like how?
Well, I don't think people realize that governments are the biggest fucking criminals on the planet. And all these people that are like hypnotized to believe that they're the bee's knees, it's fucking frightening sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be, that's vigilante mob style, right? You don't want to be, I don't want to be in the mix of that because some people have lost their minds.
They're very irrational.
They're very irrational.
Yeah.
Anytime you have someone say, parrot to you, oh, you should get that vax. Well, why? They told me you should get it. Anytime you have a group of people, and a lot of people are doing it, telling other people to get the vax.
Or to do anything.
Yeah,
because think about this. Like we can't say those things.
Right.
And be on YouTube.
Right.
So just food for thought.
I got a warning.
You did?
My first warning in 8 years. It was because...
Recently?
It was two months ago. I'd interviewed this gal, and I knew we were gonna dive deep. So I've already, I've Rumble and Odyssey I've got going. I need to get BitChute going. It synced everything up. But I knew I couldn't put it on YouTube, so I uploaded the main video to Rumble. But I pulled a 1 minute clip out, and we were talking about masks. A 1 minute clip, yeah. And she specifically said the words, masks don't work. And I think that triggered the algorithm. Oh, yeah. And immediately after I put it up...
Immediately?
Very within seconds, yeah.
Within seconds?
Seconds.
Oh, so their AI is working well.
Their AI's on it. And so I talk in a lot of code now. Plus I don't, because I don't want to lose that fucking platform,
Right, yeah.
And I had a video taken down off TikTok where Laura Logan was talking about Fauci and how she was equating him to like Dr. Mengele. Like he's a fucking... evil dude, I think, and I got taken down after a couple weeks. So,
whoa.
So have you had any strikes or anything?
I don't talk about that stuff.
I watched your Afghanistan videos, freaking awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
It was I just loved it.
Yeah.
It was bigger than Afghanistan, but still.
Yeah, because Afghanistan was when was that? Beginning of the summer? Or?
Yeah, it was before he gave wasn't it before he gave his September 11th speech? Or his September speech? That really, where he said our patience is wearing thin. Like, that woke me up. Before I was like, I don't care what government does, Kind of. I mean, we know they're going to...
Are you talking 2020?
2021. Remember?
2021, so okay, hold on.
You don't listen to... Yeah, I know you don't pay attention to the gut, or to the...
Yeah, at all.
Yeah. Gee, awesome. You got some new mics? Oh, you got the Shure mics? Oh, dude. Dad, you got a nice... how long you had these?
I don't know, a couple months.
Dude. Awesome. You got your... Logi, is that Logi? Okay, Logi cameras.
Oh my gosh, dude, the camera setup has been a game changer.
So are you here? Where are you? So I saw obviously your YouTube channel. Where are you putting this stuff up, or have you yet to roll with this setup? Like, where are you putting this? Where you push? Are you okay?
Yeah, but it's on my.
And you got the GoPro. Yeah, this is what.
And headphones.
Yeah, headphones. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Dude, I'm loving it, man. Yeah, this is the sweet setup.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man. Dang, you're coming in hot.
Yeah, well, dude, how else to come in, right?
Oh, man, coming in hot.
Yeah, I surround myself with others that come in hot like yourself.
Yeah, so dang. I mean, but I'm so disconnected from that.
Are you? In what sense? What do you mean?
I still to this day haven't heard his voice.
Yeah, you're better off for it.
I've never
you're not
heard.
missing anything.
Is that lady still a vice president?
Apparently,
she is.
Well,
I haven't seen her face in
I know.
who knows how long.
I know. I mean, I hate to say this about another human being, but because I think they don't add any value to my life. Like, I don't respect them. I don't respect their beliefs. It's a show.
When did this happen?
Which one? When I shifted?
Yeah.
Oh,
this whole lack of respect, when did this happen?
Well, I respect people who I think are real people.
Of course.
And I haven't listened to government or media in probably 10 plus years in a real way, I mean, I know about them, but I realized years ago they never had any value. I think you kind of would relate to that.
100%.
And so, but especially this guy here, he's going off Bill Maher's even like, dude, here, whack it out. There's people that have been in the left wing for their whole life, and they're like, you're going too far, dude.
Really?
Oh yeah. Lots of people are like checking out,
Wow. Okay.
Some people are still toeing the line, which I don't know. It's scary for them, for their careers and their future. If you're going to follow this guy down the rabbit hole, But yeah.
Dang, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
I mean, their whole charade, the way I see it is it's just a charade. It's the Maya. Yeah. It's not real.
Yeah. And I think people are seeing that now. And, I don't think it's been real for many years, maybe even decades, but I think it's so pronounced now that quote unquote normal people can see it, or more people can see it.
Right. Well,
waking up.
Yeah. Well, their whole game, the foundation or the ethics on top of which their system was built is built on greed, corruption, manipulation, scarcity. Mm-hmm. So now, as we go along this timeline of humanity and we're evolving and everything around us is evolving, now we're looking at them and saying, what do we need you guys for?
Yeah.
And what's worse is what you're saying is like, when your system's built on a lie, you have to keep the lie going.
Yeah.
And then every lie has to be some degree greater than the lie before it. But what happens is that eventually comes back to bite you in the ass.
Right. As it swings toward that side, that pendulum swings, it's going to go back harder the other side. I think it's really coming back now.
And that's yes. So I think to what you're saying is people are waking up and seeing through their lies in droves.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just like...
Yeah, you've been... I mean, I think
I'm in
some
cave.
People have been there for a while because they've kind of maybe had awakening prior to this, but a lot of people are waking up now going, what? Like they don't know what to do. You and I kind of have gone through our...
A good point.
It's uncomfortable. Like, I mean, I call it like a psychological split because it's like someone saying your mom or your dad is a yarn spinner, a weaver of lies, and it deceived you your whole life.
Like, what, Mom? That's a great way of putting it. Like, mommy and daddy, who gave me my check every week or month or whatever. Yeah, they lied.
And I don't blame people for not wanting to, either on a subconscious level, not wanting to wake up, because I've been through I had a big awakening earlier this year after I got COVID. I mean, I already have checked out, but I think I don't know. I'd love to get your opinion. It comes in layers for me almost.
Me too. Big time, man. Big.
So it's like you think you're good, and then all of a sudden, boom, another shock to the system.
But to that point, because like I got it.
When did you get it?
Early November.
Okay, so toward the end of last year. So mine was March, early 2021. So how bad was it for you?
It wasn't very bad.
Yeah, mine was horrible.
But it was very psychedelic.
Was it?
Mine was.
In what sense?
I hadn't had a fever in, I don't know, maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know what that was like.
Yeah.
So to have that, like, it was very interesting. Because I was able to just lay in my bed and meditate and let it. I would see how far I could go down the fever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like knowing, like, I'm not going to die.
So you didn't try to dampen the fever.
No, not at all.
And that's the mistake
I did. I took ibuprofen.
Yeah, but not
excessively, probably. You were letting it run its course till it could probably
Yep.
help
I just
you.
laid in bed, drank a ton of water,
Yeah.
and I just went in. I leaned into it.
Did you take any medicine?
Just ibuprofen.
Just ibuprofen.
When the
Yeah.
fever would get super high, I would just go take some ibuprofen and go lay down again.
Yeah.
To me, the body aches were almost worse than the fever.
Oh, really? See, and
'Cause
everyone's
yeah.
had a different experience. Some people, it's a range. It's so bizarre. Like, I think it's the experience they need. I don't know.
I think that is what it really is. Because what I've been asking people, and I asked you, is when you went through it, like, did things come up? Things that you kind of put in the closet, I'm going to deal with that later. Grief, resentments, shame, any of those things, did those come up? I've asked a lot of people.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, and I don't share this with a lot of people unless they ask me. For me, not so much that. I didn't necessarily have self-realizations. I was in so much pain. I mean, I don't know if I've told you my specific experience. I didn't sleep for like 9 days.
At all?
At all. Not even one wink. My headache and my head was so in pain. It was almost like I felt like I had a secondary infection in my respiratory was fine. My oxygen levels went down to like 85, 86. They were down to what was concerning to doctors, but my headache hurt so bad. I had such an infection up there, and I was using a neti pot and trying to clean it out.
Was it right here?
It was right,
like
kind of where the third
eye.
Yeah. It was extremely painful. Like I said, I couldn't sleep 1 week. I would just lay in bed at night in excruciating pain, waiting for the morning, it was literally for 9 days. I had no sleep. 9 days. And so, but what happened afterwards, and this is the part that I don't tell a lot of people unless they kind of dig a little bit, I didn't have any like personal realizations that I recall. But what happened was toward the end, and as I was coming out of it, I had, this is going to sound weird, not to you, but maybe to people listening, I had like premonitions or visions of horrible shit that human beings have done, are doing, will do to other human beings. It was so weird. I've never been like that before, like almost like hallucinations. I was afraid to go to sleep at night.
But it was in your mind.
It was in my mind.
You were seeing vision, like clear?
Yeah,
how clear?
Very well, like I was experiencing that. It was, it's like if I wasn't obviously experiencing it firsthand, but I was experiencing it in a way. The consciousness of it.
Like
pain and suffering and torture.
What?
I'm not joking. It was weird. And I never get that way. Like I never have nightmares. I never have trouble sleeping. But something about that experience, that illness, triggered all these things. And for like 2 or 3 weeks after, I was physically fearful. Like it's, we know human beings have tortured and killed and maimed all the people. A lot of people in the world. Some human beings do bad things. And it was like that the illness kind of caused me to think of those things. And I don't think of those things all the time. That's why when I came out of it, I was like, there is definitely something weird about this illness. Do you think it was a different type of illness than you've ever experienced from like a experiential level, or was it just fever and...
Oh no, it was...
Did you sense something different about it?
Yeah, I think it's the game is evolving. The game itself, like the infrastructure of our game, like you think...
Of the human experience game?
Right.
Yeah.
Like you think you were having a headache, but what it was is like at a non-physical level, you were upgrading.
Yeah.
And I don't walk in your shoes, but you'd have to think like if you looked at your karma, like would you I don't know how to put this.
Yeah.
Do you think you have much to clean up?
I think I definitely have. I have stuff to clean up. Yes, for sure. That carry in from other past lives or from things for sure. In some, let's put it this way. Some areas are great. Some areas I do have work to do, like, and I think that's kind of everyone. I look at life as like a wheel, right? Yeah. You've got these areas of life, and some of them are going great, and then some of them are a little more challenging. So in those areas, definitely. But I don't know if I've ever had a realization that I actually feel really blessed, to be honest.
Okay, that's what I
mean.
You don't have a lot of trauma to deal with.
I don't feel that I do.
Right.
I mean, I feel I have good health. I have
a
great
lot of
friends,
love in your life.
Great family and friends. Yes, I feel very
Is
like
it easy
almost
for you to get to gratitude, appreciation.
Yes,
okay,
very easy.
Okay, so
now
that's
in some areas. Don't get me wrong. I struggle in some areas, but in those sense, and I feel very blessed overall in life.
Yeah. You know. And I would agree.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Conversely, I don't think a lot of people are at that level.
Really? Yeah.
I think a lot of people deal with a lot of challenges.
I would agree with that.
And so I think that the virus is meant to bring up all that shit. So there's no more distraction for a period of time. 9 days without sleep. Mm-hmm. Like, can you imagine if you had a lot of trauma or a lot of stuff? But conversely, what your story told me was you're so open that you could actually heal the collective karma.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's what we're all doing now. And that's my new realization and why I'm so focused on, being myself. I think what heals the world is when we come alive and shine.
Yes, thank you.
And it's scary sometimes,
yes,
because you'll be judged or criticized.
Right.
I mean, not that I focus on those things. It's just that's how human beings are. But that's what within the last couple of months, I've been thinking a lot about that, Gary. Is like the only way around this is to shine bright and remove that darkness from the world. And that comes from having
there's
courage.
Nothing to be scared of. It's all a facade. Yeah. Like
it's a figment in the mind.
Yeah, their whole game, it's fucking fake.
Yeah.
They're just a bunch of old turds that got together in a room and said, hey, we can make up this story. And we can get all these fuckers to believe it. And then we can get them to do whatever we want. Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Hey, then they're in control of the money. They're in control of the health. They're in control of the food. Yeah, the media, all
the politicians.
This. Yeah, it's a story. It's not real. Then they're like, hey, we can make them think we have all these agents.
Right.
And we have all these people working for us.
Influencers.
Right. Oh, you better do what we say. You better pay your taxes and you better stay in line or one of the agents is going to come and get you, you know? But
when they really have no power.
They really have no agents.
Right. Or
it's
agents.
all a game of consent. Get the people to consent to your will and they'll do whatever.
Yes.
You might have some breakaway, but you can also take highly public people and make an example out of them because they're so high profile. It reinforces your will saying, hey, look at this guy. He got out of line. We're going to fine him and put him in prison. Don't get out of line or you're going to be like Bobby Brown,
Yeah. Well,
but it's really fake.
It's fake. And that's another thing. If all of us, so they can take down a YouTube channel or they can take down a Twitter account or they can do, but if everyone started speaking about this, they couldn't take it all down. Now, I know that'll never happen.
No, it will. It is happening now.
I
with
believe,
the decentralized platforms, the BitChutes,
Yeah.
because remember, again, we're now in a time where the good energy, the positive, however you want to look at it, that energy is just ever so slightly greater than the old energy. And so what's happening now is all of the old systems that were created by the old consciousness are now their cracks and their faults are being shown. So what happens is when a platform like YouTube censors everybody,
or cancels the page.
It just inspires people to go create the solution.
Yeah.
The solution's found in the challenge. So we had to go through the YouTube to say, to realize how valuable freedom is. To say, hey, all right, YouTube, listen, I'll jump through your hoops and I can camouflage my words and stuff like that.
Yeah, talking code.
Right. But guess what? Now I'm going to not only download to YouTube, but to BitTorrent or BitChute in hopes that, hey, one day everybody's going to go over there.
Yeah. And I believe they will. And that's what's encouraging when you see all these other platforms popping up. And just like standing on the street corner, speaking your mind was obsolete when YouTube came online. The other platforms will make YouTube obsolete.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's all such a beautiful unfolding. It's all so beautiful. It is wild to be in. But it's also wild when you're holding on. I just finished Yogananda's interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, really?
Man.
Is it good? Uh-huh.
Oh, dude,
I'll have to check that out.
Just a banger. But it all comes down to any suffering is just the cause of us holding on to something.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I think one of the first commandments is, don't worship false idols, but also ideals. Don't worship false ideals.
Yeah.
Don't hold on to, I pledge allegiance to whatever flag. That's an ideal.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, dude, I live in America, but I would never call myself an American.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but being a part of that group goes against everything I believe in.
Yeah.
So
like
it's
there's
like,
a high,
man,
you're operating from a higher perspective.
yeah, I don't belong to anybody's group. Like, that's no way. I couldn't do that.
No. Well, and that's another thing. The other realization that sounds like you're talking about is, even though this has been challenging, these last 2020 wasn't challenging at all. I didn't give a shit. Like, I just did my work. I mean, I don't care what's like, but when 2021, it's when things started amplifying up and people start talking crazy and people start becoming more of the mass formation hypnosis thing going on, and they start to be a little more, robust about got to get this thing, even though the viruses never go away. I mean, we live with them forever, right. But then all of a sudden everyone's trying to get this virus to go. I feel like I'm living in a crazy town. But then all underneath that, the challenge of, people in my life having experiences that aren't necessarily the best thing. I'm going through this turbulent thing. It's this huge undercurrent of blessings and awakening and fucking self-realization.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So it's like this full spectrum experience with goods and bads and highs and lows and blessings, and it's trippy.
Oh, I know,
trippy.
Man. It's more, and that's what I mean. Like, more and more, those trippy things are just manifestations of the matrix itself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like we are evolving as much from like the Wild West, the 1850s to 2000. What's 150 years we're doing in a decade.
Yeah.
That much.
Yeah. It's
growth.
like a
year. Imagine a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Like,
it's crazy.
Everything.
I look at certain people kind of thinking in the old way and say, you're bad, you're causing this problem. But then the next sentence, I'm like, thanks for doing this, because you're forcing me to wake up.
Right.
And you're forcing a lot of other people to see things. It's a weird trip. But then again, my thing is I feel the trauma of the people who passed in 2020 and 2021. Like, I feel a lot of souls went up. But then you look at the other side, that caused a lot of awakening. A lot, the pain right. awakens.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
It sucks, but it's the only way.
But it's also so perfect. Like, that's, again, to feel that is to only say that I don't believe in the infinite perfection of it all.
And the role that those people wanted to play. And then that's another realization earlier in 2021. I came to this kind of conclusion that, hey, everyone's, with this great cosmic play we're in, they chose to play that role. I'm playing my role. And for me to say, I want to get you out of that role, I want to help you, isn't fair, because they're like, no, I wanted to play this role. Like, they're playing their part in the awakening. Yeah. And so it's like you said, let go and ride the ride.
Right. Yeah. Don't hold. I mean, because when it comes to death, like, I think if I really believe that we create our own reality, you create your own death too.
Yeah.
So that death has an effect on the people that are just holding on.
Yeah.
Like, if I knew with absolute certainty this was just a game, then I would know that. Just like if I was playing World of Warcraft or something online,
be detached to a degree. Wouldn't you?
If someone says, "Hey, I'm not going to play," oh, okay, no sweat. Or I'm not. Like, right now, my parents are as good as dead.
In what sense?
In the sense of they're not in my reality right now.
Really? Yeah.
So nothing exists outside of this room.
Mm-hmm.
It's all fucking ones and zeros. It's a code. It's all belief. I believe with absolute certainty, if I walk through that door, there's a reality outside of it, and outside of that door further. Mm-hmm. And if I were to get in my car and drive to Utah 24 frames per second, the reality would unfold in front of me till I got to, let's say, my parents or something.
Yeah.
But right now where I sit, they don't exist.
Yeah.
Noah, my son, doesn't even exist right now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's what
tricky.
I think is what's happening. That's the energy. The only way to really, really integrate an idea like the one I just expressed is you have to let go of all the other shit that you're holding on to.
Yeah.
Like to your point earlier was saying, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately, is I had my first real awakening in 2006.
Yeah.
So, man, it's almost 20 years of playing this game and letting go and having realizations. Constant. To the point now where it's just total release.
Right.
Release.
But it's probably happened so often that you know now what the game is. Let go, let go, let go. But I don't know, does it get easier? Is it easier for you now to let go and just ride it out? As opposed to probably the first awakening was probably scary and
oh my gosh, so
difficult.
Yeah,
and yes. I really equate it to like psychological split because your whole world just freaking.
I would 100%. I always called it a quantum leap.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a quantum leap, and the old world no longer was relative to the new consciousness.
And people you were hanging with then, you're in a different part of the
100%,
a different parallel reality.
Yep.
It's trippy,
and you have to let go, and it's that letting go, because what happens is your consciousness springs. I mean, I'm only relating to my first experience in 2006. My consciousness went, let's say, a year, and then my reality had to catch up. So it was the letting go of that old reality, because you catching up to the new one.
Yeah,
like I had my first real awakening. I mean, my job, my house. Everything had to get let go. Everything. Because it was a quantum leap. It was a 180.
Yeah.
So dramatic. So and then subsequently, there's been other times, but once you get used to it, it's easy.
Once you kind of know the game.
It all. Yeah. No big deal.
Right.
It's not, because that's another thing, is we don't own anything.
Right.
Never ours. Like that I, me, my, mine, that perception, man, that's the ego.
Right.
I'll get you in some trouble.
Well, and that's another thing that I've been thinking a lot about too. People that are really entrenched in this 3D world and the physical world,
yes,
they have the most trouble letting go. And I'm there to a degree too. Don't get me wrong.
100%,
I'm not a monk or a yogi, but I do know that the more stuff I let go of and the more commitments and the more things that the attachments to the physical world, the easier the ride becomes. And then it's like, because if you have a whole bunch of stuff grounding you to the physical world, you kind of have to support.
You can't get out. You can't get into the non-physical.
Right.
You can't easily get into the non-physical if you have so much. Yeah. It's hard to, let's say, really go into a deep meditative state if you're the freaking CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You got 1,000 people freaking wanting to burn your house down. Right. Yeah, dudes. Right. Namaste.
Like, can you imagine Yogananda? Can you imagine Yogananda being in a corporate, somehow responsible for all these? I mean, he probably would have been a badass and crushed it.
Oh yeah,
but still, like if he wasn't a yogi and had the ability, had travel with a little pack and go in wherever he wants.
He had nothing.
That's the thing. I think the more you get attached to this physical world, sometimes the more struggle it is, the more challenge it is.
I think 100%. In fact, we're moving into more non-physical. Like we're evolving out of the physical third dimension into the fourth, fifth, and above dimensions. And so in order to transcend,
you have to shed.
Yeah, you have to let
beliefs and ideas and things, and that's the thing. Yeah,
everything that's attached to the third. It's okay. You can come down and visit. Like right now, we're in it, but
we know, but we don't get. Yeah, there's just not a deep level of attachment. It's an experience.
Yes,
and then it's just,
that was the perfect way to put it. It's to experience this reality, not to really hold on to it.
Yeah, I like that idea where they say be in this world, not of it, or something.
Oh yeah, man, that was big JC. Yeah, exactly. Be in the world, but not be of it.
Yeah,
because and it's like climbing a ladder. The only way to access the fourth, the fifth, the sixth dimension is to be in the third. We have, it's a rung in the ladder.
You don't just jump, shoot. Yeah.
Right.
That's another big realization, that it's a process, and you can't like get to where you want to be without going through those process of getting there.
Yeah. And
where everyone wants to be at the end, everyone wants to be, living the dream, but you have to go through those awakenings and those realizations and that work, do that work.
Oh yeah. And I've also found, going back to that holding on to the material, is true happiness and fulfillment and success and abundance comes from not having anything.
Yeah.
It is from letting go. It's not from having stuff.
Yeah.
That is a trick.
That's the great lie,
illusion.
right?
Yeah. Less is more. Yeah. More peace, more
awareness inside. I mean, all these things, we worry about them. We have to clean them. We have to maintain them.
Right.
We have to fix them. All that stuff detracts from your life experience.
100%. Yeah. I mean, to bring it around, like the last 2 years is my income has never been higher and my expenses never been lower.
Yeah. So you're doing the...
And where in a couple of years now, like, it's really the effects have taken root. Like, man, certain
of all
things,
the work you've done, you mean, in the past?
No, I mean the sense of like I have a bank account that pays all the expenses. I don't ever even look at that account.
Sure, it's just on autopilot. Yeah. It's just going.
So when you don't have, it's kind of like the whole Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs would wear the same shirt.
Yeah.
Like once you get rid of certain things, like, hey, I have all a year's worth of expenses in the bank account, it gets drawn automatically. I don't even think about it.
Yeah, it frees that mental bandwidth up to focus on more important
stress
stuff.
Too.
Yeah.
So then like the next is like food. I've worked on food for the last 2 years. I got probably 3 years worth of food.
Yeah.
Just sitting on this. That's in a rotation. Like, let's say, I mean, I'm so weird. I got probably 24 things of deodorant.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kind that I've tested.
That's not weird these days. That's
yeah, I'm ready. Toothpaste, toothbrushes, like all those consumables. My man Mark Cuban taught me that. Is to buy everything for in 1 year.
Yeah.
Your consumables. Because then it just takes away that.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it.
Yeah, I'm huge into that too. Just from Noah Kagan had this interview with one of his mentors, and the guy was like, "If you can remove as much friction from your life as possible, like if streamline that shit, and then you can focus on what really important." Because, like you said, going to the store to buy deodorant every couple of weeks is not an important thing.
Right. Or when you run out, or the inconvenience of it. Yeah, or even going to the store at all nowadays.
Yeah.
Man, that'll be wild. I mean, it's not long. It's not long until all like grocery attendants. I went and floated.
Did you?
A float tank the other day.
At the what's his name's place, or did you go down to Stillwater?
Yeah. But man, what I thought, because leaving, you pay when you leave.
Is that so? Okay.
And when I was leaving, the front desk lady was talking to some guy. Just having a friendly conversation for 10 minutes.
Yikes.
I just got out of the float tank. I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to pay. I want to get in my car. I want to go. Now I have to stand in the lobby while you guys are chit-chatting.
And it affects your experience.
Yeah. So I just thought when I got in the car, I was like, man, if I were the owner, I would have an iPad. Like, why? Like, I'm sorry, girl, but your job is not
that
needed
old
anymore.
Way.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think's coming down the road 100%, anyway.
5 years.
Yeah, and all these people are, we're all to varying degrees in the old way, the old system of like maybe a great example is this. Whenever I see people coming and knocking on the door saying, "Hey, you want to buy a vacuum cleaner? You want to buy a thing?" I'm like, dude, I want to tell them, hey, you know what? This is not what you do in 2021 or 2022. No, you will make far more money if you get a social media account and you get creative and make that. I mean, but that's the old way of thinking.
Right.
Like it's almost like a caveman using a rock to start a fire. I mean, it's like, how do you even, and like I say, I think when AI and drones come on and everything's automated, like you said, a whole bunch of jobs are going to be gone by the wayside.
Oh yeah.
And what's going to happen? We're all going to be able to create whatever we want, but you got to like start,
Right.
I mean, look at all the people that are at the forefront of everything. They started when it wasn't popular, when people were laughing at, laughed at Elon Musk.
Right.
I didn't think Elon Musk was going to make it. I didn't think Bezos was going to make it.
Oh yeah.
Remember when he was plowing all of his money back into Amazon, and everyone was like, he was deferring those profits.
Right.
He was cooking a big egg. Everyone thought he was right on the brink his whole time.
Right, man. I mean, and that's I can relate to that. Is holding on. Yeah. And just saying, man, this is not the time. Yes. This is not the time to take the cake out of the oven.
Look at him now. He owns the world.
How quickly it changes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like you're in the fire, like the fire tempering the steel. Like he's the Elons, the Jeffs.
He had to withstand that. Shareholders griping at him, people thinking he's crazy and stupid. I mean, now look at him.
Yeah, man, to have that vision and to hold on so tight to be like,
well,
I don't really care what you guys think.
And I'm not familiar with this world, but the Bitcoin and the decentralization.
Oh yeah, man,
that's
holding on for dear life. Oh,
as this.
I mean, that's the train. Those are the railroads of the new system.
Yeah.
So the artificial intelligence, the automation, all of that data will run on these blockchains. Yeah. And so we're watching a whole new world emerge, and it's already growing. And we're watching one die and decline. Mm-hmm. And right now, it's more than ever. It's important to realize that, to see that there really are two worlds that are converging.
Yeah, one's coming up, one's coming out.
Yes, and you have the choice. Which one are you going to hold on to with your focus, with your attention, with your consciousness,
and go all in on?
Right.
Yeah.
Because now you have a choice, like you just said, is you have a choice to stay in the dollar-backed system as it goes down, or you can choose to invest in the new system as it goes up.
Yeah.
You make the choice. You can vote to continue to have false idols boss you around and tell you what to do, or you can just stop participating and realize,
remove all your power and attention from that's all it takes, And the only reason that they really started, going all in and really pushing harder and trying to get more control, because they know they're in fear. People aren't, CNN lost 73% of their viewers last quarter.
That's wild.
It's freaking crazy.
And dude, that's wild.
Like you said,
President's lowest acceptance ratings.
People are coming online. It's boom, 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 and we're like, I don't need to be governed by anyone. I'm governing myself.
I mean, yes, and that is what the whole, like the founding fathers, that's what they were. Hey, self-government.
Limited government. You do, and that's why America became the badass that it is.
And then we got tricked. We got bamboozled into.
Conned. We were, it was a scam. People came in and said, we need to do all this for you. And then you get people like, and both sides do it, Nancy Pelosi becoming millionaires because of all this insider things. Right and the left do it all. I mean, the American people have been taken for a ride, like for tens of years, hundreds, maybe 100 years from the get-go.
I mean, since 1913 at least, because that's when they got control of the money.
Yep.
I mean, before that, you had presidents like Andrew Jackson that kicked central banking out of America.
Yeah.
We're talking that.
Yeah, they knew it was bad.
Yeah. I mean, it just went against what the Constitution was about. It's just very simple guidelines. Really, the law of the land is, hey, don't kill each other, don't steal from each other, don't rip each other off.
Yeah.
It's simple. Say whatever you want, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just don't affect anybody else.
A couple of core tenets, that's why America became such badass, because they had freedom and everyone was like lighting up, like, I want to go start a farm, I want to start a goldsmithing shop, and that's why we became awesome.
Yep.
I think what happens, and I'm seeing this now, and I get why people are afraid. Not everyone wants to take full responsibility for their lives, and you know this.
Boy, that's the truth.
I mean, if you've been living in a system where you told where to work, how much you're going to make, you can go on autopilot and shut down your dreams and hopes and autonomy, but at a cost, at a huge cost.
Dang, the way you just put that was really like just turn it off.
Yeah.
Turn off your
watch TV,
reasoning faculty.
Listen to, go listen to shows and plays and just
We'll entertain you. Just be a good little slave.
Yeah, producing unit, for the greater good. And I think that's a lot of the reason why these great resignations happen. People are like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? I'm
Right.
working for this job that I hate,
am a human
soul
robot.
killing. I'm
just treated like a robot.
Exactly.
But then what's happening again? Like we are, like we're so blessed to be in the positions that we are, that we're not just cogs in the wheel. But what we're seeing is so many of those cogs wake up, and it's all, to me, so dang perfect, because obviously the human robots are waking up just as artificial robots are coming into play.
Exactly, 100%.
So it's all perfect, you know.
When you look, that's what seemed, and it kind of had this premonition. I don't know how long ago, but within the last year or so. But also, that's what I've been doing and you've been doing is building the content, building into getting onto the news, loading your ship up for the new system,
right?
And getting familiar with it.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Because
it's what it is. Let's look at like a garden. All this other, it's just weeds and shit that are dying on their own because they're being suffocated by the new life, the new beautiful garden. Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm all about just more and more, just
it's
let
exciting.
Let go of that drama, that, oh my gosh, how can you not see through these people's shit? It's so obvious to me, And it's laughable.
It's laughable. And that's what I personally had to do with. I kind of had to go within, because when you're around people that are choosing to stay in the old system, it's harder when
Oh yeah, you can't say anything, because every conversation turns into a debate or I don't want to hang out with anybody. I'll just hang out by myself.
Right, or they're still talking about like left and right and who won the election. Who gives a shit? Like it's all rigged anyways. Like I can't even go there. Like you're I hate to say this, but it's like. So it's not even worth talking. It's like talking about the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah, because guess what?
It's your like talking about television.
And your opinion had no effect on it. So why are you holding on to your opinion so tightly?
Your guy lost, your guy won, this is happening.
They're a piece of shit. Yeah. They're a piece of shit. Guess what? You're both saying the same things about each other. It's so just like...
You're a pawn. You're being used.
You're being used. You're a cat chasing its own tail, you know? Like...
Once you see through that, it's hard to go. You can't have conversations with people that still think that way, because it's like, gosh, I'm not even, it pulls you back down, and you're like, I don't want to be pulled down into the air. I'm going up, having conversations like this, talking about leveling up in the future and like expanding your consciousness and growth. Not everyone wants to do that. I get it.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Again, that whole 2.5 year cycle is, I've just been in the cave.
Mm-hmm. I kind of have,
Yeah, I don't really go out very much.
I don't either.
I don't have a ton of friends. And anybody that they come over here to do this.
Yeah.
So it's like you're in my space. But this year, and with it being the first month of the year, which feels weird, something's spurring me to be more social,
get out there again,
to start reaching out. That's why I reach out to you and reach out to a lot of people.
Kind of came through that time of like introspection and like
exactly right.
Yeah, because it's the ebb and flow.
Yes, Yes, yeah. So I'm excited to see what this year produces. Because I think that things are gonna. Their system is. Their decline is speeding up.
Yeah.
Like with this inflation,
and our system, and the new system is coming on faster, isn't it?
So it's gonna get wild, because again, there's so many people that are holding on to that old system. So like you're talking about, breaking away and getting away until that just comes to me in the sense of like, because I'm the same right now. I'm looking for a piece of land or something like that,
opportunities and stuff.
But I can be an island within the city.
Yes.
Until that opportunity presents itself, and I'll know.
Right.
Because I'm looking at things like in this timeline that pop up. Like a good example was when Facebook rebranded to Meta. Mm-hmm. To me, that was a huge symbol. A sign saying, "Oh man,
out with the old."
Yes, and it just sped up. We just went into a whole nother gear. Now, that's the top. That's in the zeitgeist is metaverse. So now it's telling me now we're really shifting out of the physical into a non-physical reality. And so then homeboy Biden's getting the worst approval. CNN, these are mile markers.
They're signs that old system is going by the wayside.
Yeah. So it's like, don't, it's all happening perfect. So your opinion doesn't speed things up. So why are you wasting any of your energy on it? Again, in the last 2 years, I don't watch anything political. I'm all comedy.
Yeah,
comedy.
I've been watching a lot. Me too.
Yes,
for sure.
Joy.
Vibration.
Yeah, I go on a walk a few times a week. Like, what can I do to create more joy or a fulfillment versus, the world's on fire.
Getting invested emotionally in that train for sure.
Yeah,
that show.
I'm not getting on that train.
No,
because that train's going to lead to tough times
wherever
ahead.
they want. Well, and I think what they want, they being the people that are producing the greatest show on earth, the political show, the fake show, they just want our attention, and they want put us in fear state, and it keeps us in that. It keeps us in the game. But now people are starting to pull back the curtain and go, "Who's back there running that? Who's producing this show?
Right? Who are these people?" Yeah. Why would I mean, when I look at all those characters in that play, I think none of them are a true leader. Mm-mm. Like, you guys are. How would you follow? These are not good people.
Right. And it's getting more crazy and wacky as the
Like, you really can't see that they don't. They not only do they not care about you, they have disdain for you.
Yeah.
They're like mocking you and running you over with the tank. They don't care.
Exactly. But that's how invested some people are. Like the people that, the new guy that won, they're like, that's my guy, I'm in with him. But the guy that's out, my guy lost. Like, that's emotionally draining. Yeah. Just detach from that shit.
Yeah, it's the win-lose, us versus them duality.
Yeah.
Of when you're really invested in the physical, then those things matter. Winning and losing. It distracts
you from your purpose. Right. It distracts you from higher elevation thinking.
But those people, I also would bet that they don't have a purpose.
I hear you 100%. Yes, I've been thinking a lot about that too. Because see, like we talked about earlier, when when we shine our brightest, when we find our purpose, and we be our special mix of whatever in the world, and it lights up a little light. You're right. Some people don't have that calling or that purpose. I've been, and the reason I know that is because I lived there for many years, just part of the system,
right?
Going to work, doing the things, no higher really vision for my life,
right?
So I know there's people still living like that.
100%. I mean, I had another good friend of mine throw this freaking wrench in my gears. Can you imagine that most people do not interact with that inner voice in their head?
Yeah,
they don't talk to themselves.
No.
That's weird.
Right. Or get guidance from themselves. Or little insights. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They're still numb. They're still closed off.
Well, also remember, that's a level of their own evolution. They haven't evolved to work that part of their brain. Yeah. So they really are like a robot. That computer
isn't online yet.
Right. They're not a self-conscious robot. They're just like, boop-a-doop-a-doop, iPhone, this, work.
It's true.
I'm loving it.
No guide.
Right? Yeah.
Well, and that's one thing that I keep coming to these realizations every so often, because again, it's I still vacillate back and forth through 3D world, the old system, and a little bit of the new system.
100%. Yeah.
But the realization I have is like, when you gotta let your soul guide you and your inner being guide you, and that's where it seems like what you're talking about. Like you get those messages or hits to like go here, go there, say this, do that. Like it's your co-creative partner, your co-CEO. Yes. And some people I don't think have that realization. And again, back to the layer thing, I think sometimes I don't follow it because I'm like, that's too freaking scary. I'm not ready. And then the inner being's like, okay, I'm with you whenever you're ready to roll. No big deal.
No big deal. But here's a little pain.
Yeah.
Here's a little pain for staying comfortable. Here's a little pain for you, bud.
True. And also, but everything you've ever wanted is going to happen when you do that.
Yes, of course. Yeah, because again, those last 2 years, I've become very lazy.
In what sense?
In the sense of eat, drink, and be merry.
Okay,
because the world's coming to an end.
Oh, okay. You've kind of I've gone down the road of bowl
of
popcorn and watching the world burn kind of a thing?
I mean, literally, drinking too much, eating too much. I mean, I've gained 30 pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
you're speaking to the choir. I mean, I've kind of said, hey, if this shit's burning down, I'm going to enjoy the show. Yeah, exactly.
But now I've gotten to the point where now the pain of staying on that path is greater.
Yeah, you lived in that season for a while. Now you're.
Well, my body hurts, and I just extrapolated out like, okay, man, arthritis in my hands.
Really?
Oh yeah.
From your work life or just from computing
life, and then being sedentary, and then drinking and eating too much heavy, rich foods that my body's not
the inflammation and all that stuff. Yeah.
So I think, okay, I'm 40. If things extrapolate, if they double in 10 years,
better, you just kind of let yourself. Yeah, you and I kind of know.
Right. So what I've done is my ego. I've let the ego. For the last 2 years, the ego, the fear take over and say, hey, it's okay to be comfortable. Like, you don't have to work. Just chill. Yeah, exactly.
The world might be ending tomorrow. Just chill.
But now it's like, if it does end,
and you'll bounce back.
I'm going to survive, but I have to get in shape. Yeah. So now it's like, actually, I've exhausted that path to the point where the things that once satisfy me no longer do.
In the sense of like
food,
the foods and
drink, sex, whatever it is. Now it's just like it's not. Well,
you know it's holding. Yeah, you know it's holding you. You know it's ultimately kind of cause pain and suffering. And you're like, I don't need that anymore.
Right. And then at that point, but then that goes back to what we were saying is like even that higher self's like no big deal, man.
Yeah.
Go
it's
for
there,
it,
it's
man.
It's there chilling with you, enjoying that. It's good.
Yeah.
Because it loves you. It was like you're the boss. Like
it's when you're on the stair climber sweating. It's like, oh, I'm loving this.
Yeah.
But then like, dude, when you're on a freaking bender, or a 2-week bender, it's like, yes, man, do whatever you want.
Let me ask you this. Like I do feel that way, but let me ask you this. Because I've experienced this when I'm not on my purpose and when I'm not doing the thing, I do feel a low level of discomfort and dis-ease in the sense that, like, it's that knowing that something better is waiting. And like, if I'm saying, let's say I'm watching TV, just the mindless TV that coming on the or the news or whatever, which I don't watch the news, but if I'm watching that, there is a small sense of me, depending on what I'm watching, that knows. It could be better if I turn this off and go do my purpose.
Oh, of course. But then the ego says, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We need those times. And what I've been doing lately is I've been really conscious of what movies I'm watching and listening to the high vibe music. Because I realize if I'm watching a violent movie, and all of them are violent.
Yeah, man.
James Bond, Suicide Squad. Because it's nice to do your work and then check out for a minute and be entertained. But I'm really being conscious. I'm not watching that shit anymore because I know it's not good for me, my consciousness.
Yeah.
And that's a new realization within the last month or two.
Nice. So it sounds like our paths are somewhat similar.
I mean, and then it's like, okay, what can I watch that's uplifting?
Just a small
to check
shift.
out?
Yeah, I'm still checked out.
There's no violence.
But it's that small shift. Like, hey, instead of watching James Bond, I'm watching The Secret.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm with you 100%.
Exactly.
Like,
I still need
all
to check
about
out a little bit.
What can I bring what can I do that it has to bring me some level of joy?
Yes.
So like going to the gym and lifting weights no longer brings joy. So it's like, okay, I need to find hobbies or things.
But walking on the greenbelt probably brings a lot of joy.
Yeah, so I can do 5 miles out easy.
In nature, by the water.
Yes, I'm listening to a book, so I'm multitasking. I'm more
getting
focused
ideas
on the book
for your business and life. Yeah, I love that shit.
In fact, just this last week, I even took it to the next level where I would make phone calls.
Yeah,
because one of my goals this year is to call my mom, my dad, and my grandma at least once a week.
Awesome.
So now I can make that call while I'm on a walk. So it's boom, joy.
Yeah, I love that stuff, man. I mean, it is. It's a great time to be. Well, I think it's a super awesome time to be alive. You know, so many opportunities.
Better than ever.
Yeah, better than ever. And that's the thing. When it gets crazy, I always come back to like what Abraham Hicks says and what these people say. You know, it's always getting better.
Yes.
Better and better.
Yeah.
The better it gets, the better it gets.
Yeah, I mean, but that's for me and you.
Yeah.
Because I just, again, reconnected with a friend this week, and his dad passed away from COVID.
Shoot, yeah.
And
That's
so when we were
pains.
sitting down talking, like he's more old school. He's got to be like in his 50s or 60s. And so I kind of started diving deeper non-physical reasons why it got his dad. And I started, his dad was mad at the world he was living in. Remember, his dad was 89 years old when he passed.
Wow.
So he lived in a world that was...
He didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Can you imagine growing up in the 50s and 60s compared to today?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I feel that for people.
I'm out of here.
Sometimes I look at the world, like I said, before we started here, I was like, some days I want to move off in the woods.
Right.
And I don't want to be part of this world. But then other days I'm like, this is the baddest ass thing in the world. This is awesome what's going down.
But then also what that shows you is, I got a little bit more scrubbing to do.
Yeah, correct.
I got a little bit more.
Yeah, because ideally we want to be fully awake and aware and having fun wherever we're at, even if we're in a freaking prison camp.
Yeah, and we're not attached to anything. No. It's like, hey, guess what? If I'm in prison, I can still meditate.
Yeah. Well, that's what
I'm going to get real fucking good at meditating.
When I was thinking, and I see this craziness going on in Australia and all these COVID camps they're building, I thought to myself, the greatest test for you, Mark, is if you can be happy and funny and making people laugh in those places and laughing yourself, even in the midst of like freaking solitary confinement.
Right.
That's when you really have conquered the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he talks about in Think and Grow Rich is when you meet your other self.
In what sense?
Usually people meet their other self is when they're faced with
the worst trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
So when they're put in those situations, you meet your real self, your other self. And you come into
full alignment and you come.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more trials and tribulations you have, the more it hardens you and puts you in like it'll either crush you or it'll make you like level up and then be like rise above that shit.
Right.
And then you realize I don't need to be here or there to be happy. That's the one thing that I've noticed with certain people, some older generations. They're like, if they're in a certain spot, let's say a hospital, they're like, it sucks. I don't want to be here. And I'm like, why not? You got all the shit you need, and you're meeting new people and you're having new experience. I don't know. I've never really understood. As long as you have like, a journal and a pen or whatever, or just you to hang out, it doesn't really matter where you're at.
Yeah. In this world, if you got a phone, you're in the same spot. You would have been at home in bed on your phone. You're just in a hospital bed on your phone.
And you're in because we all want new well, not everyone. Most people want new experiences. I want to have new experiences. That way when you die, you're like, okay, I did all these things.
Right.
I didn't.
Yeah, your resume.
Your resume. You're like, dude.
Yeah, I want a lot of things.
Yeah. I want a full experience, and that's why I just never understand like or people that are like, I want to get back to this spot. Like I'm a little impatient here. I want to get back to there. I'm like, this is cool right here. Like look around. Like
yes.
But
how do you know that? Why do people want to go back?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you just say, hey, things are better?
Fear,
yes.
Because
okay, you're right.
And like look at it this way. I always want to be a person that's going to embrace new technology and new opportunities and new things like that, but not everyone, and also take the time to learn it. Like, when I got into content, I didn't know how to edit videos. I didn't know how to edit audio. You probably didn't either.
Right.
But you're like, I want to do this, so I'm going to learn that shit.
Right.
Or I'm going to learn how to build my WordPress site. Some people don't want to do that, and I get it. But I want to. I'm like, I don't, because I look at it this way. What the hell else would I be doing?
Right.
Other than following my heart,
Yeah, because it's either you're that cog in the wheel or you're following your heart. Which one do you want to do?
Yeah. And I was talking with another friend, and you'll relate to this too. All this whole time, it's like when I chose in 2013 to go off on this journey of doing what I wanted to do, create content and have a podcast, I feel like I had a machete. I packed my backpack and I walked into the jungle, swathing a path there's no path there.
Right.
And I walked away from civilization.
Right.
Which would have been surviving for me. But I knew I'm not going to freaking waste this opportunity. I'm going to go to this destination that I have in my mind, this vision, and I'm swathing through this jungle.
Yeah, man. And look how far you've come.
Sometimes it's interesting.
Damn.
I'm really proud of the journey.
You should be. That's wild. Yeah. I was thinking about you this morning, and we met in 2013.
Yeah. And because of you, and I want to get a picture after we're done here because I got to post this. Because of you, I posted my first video. You remember that video? We just got done from the Higher Being group. I came home, opened my laptop, and recorded right on the webcam talking about the Boundless Joy book. That was the first video I've ever posted to YouTube.
No way.
And that happened because you inspired. I was vibrating high with all those people in those groups, in that group. And I was like, F it. I'm going to freaking do it. Because I prior to that, I watched people play it on YouTube for like 4 or 5 years.
Right.
But I was too afraid to do it myself.
Right. Oh yeah.
And finally,
that's a
you just
huge
have to like
thing.
jump. Be like,
Yes.
and that made me jump after coming back from that meeting. I was like, because you're vibrating real high, you're like feeling real good.
Yes, I can do anything.
I can do anything. And then once you do
face
it,
that fear. Yes.
face the fear, then you're like, I didn't die. And the world's still spinning. I'm going to freaking do it again.
Right.
But before that time, you think I'm going to look stupid. And honestly,
but how many times, sorry to cut you off,
ahead.
how many times did it take after even that first one? I mean, how do I reframe this? Is every time, even after, it was like fucking David and Goliath, even after
to
that.
a degree, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's funny. And so when I crossed, because it took me 8 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. 8 years. And I haven't posted the video yet. I've got it recorded. I need to put it up on my YouTube, but it took me 8 years to do that. That was the first video I did. And I say in that video, guys, I kind of shared some experience, and I said, hey, that one is not my cringiest video. That first one, I'm okay with that one. There are other videos that I don't want to watch. You know what it is.
I
mean,
never
sometimes
watch any of my stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't either. But there are times when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna post this shit. But I do it because it's like slay the dragon. You don't.
Yeah.
If I never posted things where I made a mistake, I'd never post anything.
Right. Exactly.
And so it's all about that forging off get rid of the fear and stuff. And then every new thing, it's like. And then back to this year, how it made people get out of their zone. I was like, if the world's going to be crazy, I'm going to do some of my shit I've never done. I made my first comedy special. You know? Yeah. It's about real serious shit, but I've wanted to do that for years.
Wow.
Yeah. You know?
Where'd you do your set at?
I did it. Well, no, I did it in my house. It's all audio, but it's called Let's Talk About It. It's
all audio, no video?
All audio, no video. I'll do video because I got other ones, and I know you have other things you want to share too, but I got other things I want to do down the road. But I had to take that first step. And once I did that, I'm like, I didn't die, world didn't end, and I'm still alive. And it's like, no one can, if we always worry about what people are going to think of us and criticize or whatever, but just like, they don't give a shit. They're doing their own thing.
Give two shits.
But
the ones that do care don't matter.
Right.
They're never going to buy anything from you.
Right.
They're never, So yes, most people are just
personal
consuming. They're voyeurs. So yeah. And you hope that, hey, I hope you grab a nugget. I hope someone gets some sort of value from watching this.
Yeah, but it's mainly for me and my growth.
Yes, exactly. I'm just taking you on a ride with me. Yeah. Like, guess what? We don't get paid to do this.
Right. This is for our own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's just interesting. Yeah, but it wouldn't have happened had I had this last year not forced my hand and said, if the world could potentially end, which sometimes it felt like it was going to, I'm going to do my thing. I'm not going out of the world, leaving. I want to leave as much here as I can, and I know you feel that way too.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. But I think for us is that it's not ended. It's not ending for us. It's not coming.
I don't think so either. No,
we've won the game.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, because part of there's had to be at least one chapter in that Bhagavad Gita about the yugas.
Mm-hmm.
Just these huge spans of time, ups and downs, and what they're talking about is we're again on the uprise. We're coming out of a time of darkness into a time of light. This golden age that religions talk about. Yeah, it's coming. It might be 1,000 years from now, but then our mind power, which is what we're coming on to now, our mind power, our emotional power, our spiritual power gets so great. But then what happens is we become lazy.
Yeah.
As gods. And we
want to cycle back.
Yeah, then we start to forget. And then over generations, the forgetting just over thousands of years. Then we just go back through the cycle again,
It's funny you say that because that's what it feels like. It feels like, if we're spiritual beings, we have, no fear, infinite ability to, be whatever we want, do whatever we want. I mean, there's no baggage to pull off there. It's instantaneous desires come to us. But then when we're physical beings, we've got, fear and programming and beliefs and stuff like that. What it feels like to me, especially this last year and more, is that we're we're able to access a lot more of that fearlessness from our spiritual self. That's kind of what I hear when you say that,
yes.
is that we're bringing our spiritual self in alignment with our physical self, and we're getting the best of both qualities, the best of both aspects of those beings. Because
yes.
I know I've been a lot more fearless this last year and a lot more focused, and when I'm using my mind, things start happening faster.
Yes.
Would you sense that?
100%. In fact, when you said that was very enlightening in the sense of, prior to, I would say, about the 1950s, we were even more in the physical body.
I would agree.
That's why it was so easy for us to kill each other. And, I mean, like you were saying, humans are just
we've done some horrible things to each other.
It makes no sense. But that's because we were so disconnected from our emotional body, like our energy body.
Primitive.
Yeah.
Caveman style.
Yes. So now we're just simply where they are merging. But then, just like I said, there will come a time where our mental and emotional powers far exceed the physical.
Yeah.
But that reality, those dimensions exist right here and now.
Yeah. And some people have that ability now. I think
right. Tap into it.
They're at the far end of the curve. It's all like this continuum. Some people are really good at that shit, and they can just focus and think, and they get shit coming into their world.
Oh yeah. All of us, because it's
flowing. All of us can. Yeah. It's just it's like you said, that part of the chip in some people's brain or that area is not activated in some to the degree it is in others.
Yeah. But I think even that's why this whole thing is happening, because the challenges are there to stimulate us to let go of what you're holding on to that's causing an interference from you to accept these ideas. Yeah. Like, hey, guess what? Your shit, the stuff you're holding on to, that's the reason why your life's not leveling up. Just those let
old
go
beliefs,
of that.
Those old ideas. Yes. You know what it almost feels like? It's like when you're trying to start I'm going to use a motorcycle in this example, by running it down a hill and kicking the clutch. It's like, that's what it felt like these last 2 years. It's a little bit jarring, but it brings that creative engine online in our brain, and it's like boom, and it's like
right. And then when you get in the flow, then you can just let it take you.
Yeah.
Just like with a sailboat,
and you ride that, like you get off the other machine, the other vehicle you were riding of the paying attention to the outer world, and you get on this new vehicle where you're like getting a lot of it with your mind and your focus and your vibration.
Right.
And it's like floating you through.
Yes. It's like learning to surf.
Yes.
Surfing is riding water energy. So playing this game is just like learning to surf. Like, hey, at first you're going to get thrown in a washing machine, but I'm going to whoop your ass.
Stick with it.
Yeah, stick with it and you'll get good.
You're surfing energy, you're surfing thoughts, you're surfing emotions.
Yeah, and it all comes down to like learning and being okay. Like, hey, I know things that trigger me to get angry. Like, man, I mean, you'd have to hurt a friend. Like, it would take a lot to really get me really pissed off. Right, yeah. Like, I just stopped playing that game. But I had to play the game.
Yeah.
To realize, that's a part of the game.
Yeah, that level.
Those the actions that are stimulated from anger, they usually come back to kick my ass. I learned that. So I'm gonna when I
punch
feel
that guy, he's gonna punch
me. So when I feel angry, I'm gonna take a few breaths, maybe even a day or two. And if it doesn't, then I'll deal with it. Mm-hmm. So now it's like you're saying, I've learned how to ride this wave.
Yeah.
To be like, if I'm in fear, worry, anxiety, I'm just going to sleep all day.
Yeah. That's exactly. Okay. I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Or go walk.
I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to do something that seems counterintuitive, but really is the key that gets me past that level.
Exactly right.
Like, I've been thinking a lot about this idea of, there are certain players on the field politically and globally that I'm like, you're a bad guy. I hate you. You're doing bad things. But then I get the message. Really, Mark, the way to win the game is to love them.
Yeah.
Appreciate them.
Yes.
And that's like, I don't want to. But you're like, well, then you don't want to win the game.
Yeah.
and then that's a hot.
You know what? That's okay.
Challenge. Yeah.
You don't have to.
Because it's like,
you loser.
It's like, then we'll just go stay at this level. You'll never level up.
Yes, exactly.
But I want to level up. So it's like, all right, I'll do it.
But remember, too, it's like it's every lower levels are being consumed.
Yeah.
That's why the people are dying.
Yeah, and it's like you can't stay there. If you stay there, that's a very good point.
It'll eat
we
you
know
up.
On some
the
level that if we stay there,
great.
Yeah, we'll continue to suffer. We could potentially die. We'll eat ourselves up with hate and anger. Because, like I said, when you
Yes.
And that's a challenging one. But you know what? I'm up for the challenge. And I send love to all of these players that I feel that are causing damage in the world. I want to win the game. I want to I want to level up.
Yes, I want you to too.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Because I can relate. I played that level.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Now it's just
Anger.
like
yeah,
you guys are idiots.
Or either detach or bless them or love them.
Yeah, love you.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Please, pray for them. Just like pray for awakening in yourself. Pray for awakening in other people's, because, they're in their own Maya delusion. And all the people that are supporting this thing. I feel for them. Like when I look at all the celebrities that promoted the narrative and all the other people that promoted the narrative. That's talk about karma. That's going to be in their karma. Like the people who didn't promote the narrative, they have negated any karma. They didn't take it either way. Like you said when we first started, like letting people walk their journey, which we all probably have this year, even though we wouldn't recommend. We know they shouldn't probably do that, but we have to let them walk.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard, but it's, again, part of that game, their journey.
Yes, just part of the game.
Yeah.
Because eventually you get to a point where, like, I don't really care.
Right.
I don't care.
That's your journey. I'll love and support you for whatever you, when I had people very close to my life doing something that I wouldn't recommend for them, I support them 100%, because I know I'm not going to interfere with their journey.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard.
In fact, you really can't interfere with their journey.
Yeah.
So again, it's to give anyone your opinion, it's futile.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it doesn't matter.
Right.
They're on their journey. They're going to learn what they need to learn in its own perfect time.
Exactly.
So I got my eyes on my own road.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you do. Like you said, I support you 100%.
Yeah.
You want to get a shot or not? You want to wear a mask or not?
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Yeah, I'll hang with you.
Yes, I'll hang out with you either way.
Yeah.
Guess what? What I do? One, I don't tell my opinion. I don't tell what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because it's none of your business.
Right.
That's a part of my freedom. Yeah. I don't share. I'm a very private person.
Yeah, you're on your path. You're doing your thing.
I don't want to, because I don't want to hear your opinion.
Right. I don't want to trigger. I don't want to cause, I'm just walking my path. I feel 100%. Yeah. That's the, all through 2020 into 2021, I felt that same way. And even like I said, in September, when I felt the game was changing, when I felt a little bit like they were encroaching on I have my territory, my little bubble. I'm going to do what I want in my bubble. I don't care what you do in your bubble. We're all on our own journey. When I felt that they were starting to encroach in my territory, when it's like, when he said, our patience is wearing thin, when Mr. Biden said our patience is wearing thin, I felt that it was a aggression towards my territory.
Really?
And I kind of went on the offensive, but I needed to, Gary. I started using social media to share, to counter, to go on the offensive. Before I was just like, you do whatever you want. I'm going to stay in my lane. You do what your lane. But I needed him to do that, to awaken that in me, to be courageous and speak my truth in the face of. And then I tell people like this. It's like, it's the ultimate challenge for a person who's being in the world. So here's the game. Some people have taken the thing, some people have not. You have to craft your speech or your message in a way that doesn't make someone feel bad and someone feel good. It doesn't hurt people's feelings. And it's like,
Switzerland.
It's Switzerland. It's like the ultimate mind game. And it's like, okay, how can I do this shit?
Oh, yeah.
So it did. It
actually.
I went on the offensive a little bit and I started speaking out. But
did you get any kickback?
Very little kickback, because I think I'm so in tune with people's emotions and how they feel, because I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm really incensed with, I want to be everyone's friend. I don't want anyone to hate me. I want to be, because I love them. Right. I got very little kickback. I did get some kickback. Don't get me wrong. People, I did push a little hard, and because when you're saying something that triggers someone else, I got a little, but not a lot, because I was very specific. I used humor, and I also used satire, and that always goes over well. And let's put it this way. I got more affirmation that I was on the right path than I did kickback, far more.
Nice.
Like 95% to 5%.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it just, so again, it was a blessing that he did that, because it's like, when someone makes an aggression towards you and it forces you to become a better person and either go on the offense or whatever. Did you experience any of that? Well, you don't.
No,
you're kind of
I've
detached.
never heard his voice. Still.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you say like where patience is running thin, I think I never heard that. So it's
yeah. Well, it's funny. I wouldn't have heard it either, but I was hanging with Tiff and she was playing this speech there because I don't tune into those clowns either. Like I'm like you. I don't watch the news. I don't listen to them. They have nothing for me. But it's funny. I needed to hear that.
100%
to make me perk up and get in the game.
Of course.
And I still vacillate back and forth. Like even now, I think to myself, Mark, should you go back to just talking about what you were talking about before?
Which was
spirituality, consciousness.
What the hell are you talking about now?
Well, really now I've kind of shifted a lot of my focus to address what's happening in the world. Like
you have
a lot of my videos on YouTube, pretty much all my social media, in some way, shape, or form, I'm sharing something Hitler said. I'm sharing news articles about stuff because stuff the CDC says. I view what I'm doing now as like exposing the lies because some people don't know that those players don't have their best interests at heart. And I look at it this way: I was benefited and awakened by people speaking truth and sharing the injustices and the deceit and lies. And so I think I have a duty, and also I think that's why we came here, at least for me, to speak the truth to power, So it really was, again, a blessing. I didn't want to. And I got, like I said, I got more engagement and people were like, oh, that's, I hear what you're saying. So it was a blessing that happened. But yeah, and I still waffle back and forth. Like now that the narrative's starting to crumble a little bit, my next thing is, no, I don't want them to just go on living their life. There needs to be justice for those people, the politicians, the powers that be. Like, I'm not just cool with them going back to business as usual. Like, again, back to the thing, 500,000 people passed away. How many percentage of those did not have to pass away? Even though they chose that, there was still an injustice, it's injustice to interfere with the life of another human being. So it's funny, this Brandon Carter, King Keto. Well, how about Ryan Holiday? Ryan Holiday, like the stoic guy? Yeah. He posted something on his Instagram page which said, hey, sometimes you have to do things for the greater good. And he was talking about taking the vaccine. And I was like, no. I respect you, dude. And I wrote this thing in and I said, look, well, no, what happened? Ryan Holiday said that. And then Brandon Carter said, hey, yeah, don't get involved in what corporations want their employees to do. And I said, you go back to the root. I'm fine with not getting involved with what corporations want them to do. But if the root was we have been deceived and lied to and misled, because those corporations wouldn't have instituted the mandates for their employees to get the thing had the government and officials put the great lie into the ecosystem. And so I'm all for people having the ability to do what they want to do. But if my friend is being deceived and lied to, I have a moral obligation to tell him you're being deceived and lied to. Whether they do something about it or not is on them. But I won't be able to be happy and sleep at night if I don't tell them in whatever way I see fit. What do you think about that? I mean, so I told him, I said, hey, like if my friend is being a great lie to, and he's potentially in danger, I have a moral obligation to tell him. That's my feeling. And it made me come alive.
No, I'm with you 100%.
What they do with it is their business.
Yeah. I'm just teaching people to stop using their system. So it's the same.
Yeah. It's a different approach. It's almost like a different approach. And I do I go back and forth because I think to myself, like, why did you and I come through this shit with like, we didn't get freaking taken down the rabbit hole because we're like seeing through the illusion of this bullshit. Some people didn't have that opportunity. And so I think of it two ways. One, like sharing truth, sharing knowledge and wisdom, but also, like you've talked about, helping people raise their vibration. Because I think if you're really plugged into your inner, letting your soul guide you, when this all happened, you communicate with your soul, hey, soul, should I listen to this shit? They're like, you don't need that shit. Don't listen to those guys. Not everyone has that. So I do a little bit of both. If we raise our vibration, we get in touch, we get in communication with our soul, and our soul will tell us what we need to do and what not. So it's kind of a two-part. It's like a multi-pronged attack. And I see, of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're vibrating high, and if you're, another thing, back to the thing, if you're on your purpose, you don't give a shit. Like you don't give a shit with you don't even have any time. You're like, who's our president? Who's our president?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Who's their president?
Yeah.
Who's their vice
Yeah.
president?
Because I'm not in that game.
No. See?
Yeah. And I'm also, I mean,
but that's high. I think that's high level. I think, a lot of people are still, they haven't got that inner connection with their inner guidance system, or they haven't found their purpose. And so they're still, it's like a little kid putting his hand on the stove. It's like, hey buddy, don't put your hand on that stove, if you can avoid it, like with your son. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of things he wants to do that you're like, hey, try to keep him safe, you know?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
So that's how I look at it. Like, and that's what bothers me about this, the fact that so many people were hurt either with the COVID or with the,
but they were supposed to get hurt.
I know. But it's still like, would you say that about, like, if your son was going to touch a hot stove?
He was supposed to learn that lesson.
Yeah, okay. I agree with you. I hear what you're saying, 100%.
Yeah, so I don't feel remorse for people that died.
Yeah.
Because they chose to die. They're not the victims of a virus.
I hear you.
I don't believe in victimhood. I don't believe in that.
Right.
So
well, let me ask you this. Like, so, because for me, sometimes it feels like my purpose is to develop courage and bravery, and sometimes that is the way I do that is by standing up for something that I believe
agree,
in. So I was a quandary, because I honestly I am in a quandary. Either completely hands off, let people walk their path, but I feel some of my evolution as a soul being is to get in there and no, don't do it. Don't.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I struggle with that.
Well, you're opening your fifth chakra.
Yeah.
You're speaking your mind. You're speaking your heart.
It's like
I'm probably too much of speaking my mind.
Yeah, you know what's up, and you're very vocal, and you don't have fear about what people think. And you know all that.
So if you need to learn that, then you're going to have these experiences.
I felt that I needed to.
Yeah, so you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not trying to wake anybody up.
Right.
Because in fact, whenever
you're kind of maybe trying to dampen it down a little bit and just be a little more hands off, maybe.
When it comes to that, I always tell myself there's enough people out there that are spreading that information. I don't need to even talk about it.
I agree with you, yes.
People that have way bigger platforms than me, millions of subs.
And it's an individual journey. Like all of us, we know what we're supposed to do, for our own soul evolution or our own thing. And yeah.
But it's the difference between, hey, telling people that the Federal Reserve is screwing you over versus telling people to buy Bitcoin.
Right.
That's what I'm not saying. Just change the system. I'm saying just stop. Guess what? You have a choice. Just stop using it.
Yeah. The old system will die on the vine.
Yeah. On its own.
Just
you
like
don't
the
have to
news
do
is
anything.
dying. Correct.
Yeah. Stop listening to them.
I agree.
Stop. Instead of watching the news, watch a podcast.
Yeah.
And if you do that, because here's what most people do: they stop watching the news, they stop watching CNN, and they start watching a podcast that's the same fucking energy.
The same vibration.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, you got to find new hobbies, because the hobby you have being plugged into the matrix, it sucks.
Yeah, because it's just programming you with that fear, programming you with
anger, resentment, fucking shaming each other. It's like, dude. When's the last time you had just a belly laugh?
Mm-hmm.
You just laughed your ass off.
Yeah.
Or when was the last time you cried because you loved someone so much? You know, when was the last time people did that?
Yeah.
Dude, I could cry right 100%. Now. Like it's a daily thing. I'm trying to get to that level of love or gratitude or appreciation.
Right. Just experiencing those emotions and that the realness instead of just being numbed out.
Right. But also, man, another thing to consider is on the map of consciousness, courage. Like you were saying, like, yes, part of the soul's,
for me, my personal journey, because I've always been a little more,
Right.
Yeah, right.
So courage.
Well, yeah, it's right above the halfway point.
Well, not only that, but that he says that's the hardest.
I agree. Yeah, and it is hard because it's hard to speak out when you might offend someone. Some people don't have a problem with it. For me, you know what it is? It's like that was a little level in the game that I need to go on, like a soul, like a hero journey style, right? You got to go through this shit.
100%.
And you know, take the highs and the lows, what happens from it. But then you realize it's like all part of my individual journey. Everyone has their own individual journey. It's freaking trippy.
It is. It's so trippy. Dude, it is.
It's a video game in real life.
Yes, I was just gonna say that
adapts to.
But that's the crazy thing, is that as you play the game further, what happens is as you stop plugging into those games, you'll start having experiences that will confirm and reconfirm to you that you are playing a video game.
Yeah, yeah.
So now the level I'm at, the downloads I'm getting is it's so
obvious.
It's so fucking obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I say nothing exists beyond this room, like in my mind, I really see that nothing exists.
Yeah.
I don't have the story doesn't exist.
You're writing the story as it's going.
Yeah, I'm right here and now. Yeah. I don't have a past.
Yeah.
That's why another like part of my own like spiritual, religious, however you want to call it, is we don't keep records.
In what sense? Like you don't keep record of your past experience, your past wins, losses, etc., that kind of thing.
Yeah. You get rid of them.
Sure, you just like you experienced it. It's done. You're moving forward.
Move on. Yeah.
I like it.
The past does not equal the future. So to hold on to records, paperwork, files,
pictures, those kind of things.
Some pictures, but not a ton.
Okay.
Some.
You travel pretty light though. You're
super light.
Yeah, and I'm imagining the reason you do that is because you don't want to keep anchoring yourself in the past. You want to be more oriented toward the future.
Well, and that not only that, but that it's literally a figment of your imagination. So it is. So here's another just thing that I hope to blow your mind. Is that
do it.
This is the hardware. Your body. It's not real though, because you think it's real, but it's not.
Right.
But and then you have this. It's a biocomputer.
Yeah.
Your conscious and subconscious mind. Well, people like the Biden, the people that are running the show, they're running off a hardware that's so fucking old that it can't even download the new. They stopped downloading in the 80s, probably even earlier.
Yeah.
So they're not. They've never downloaded empathy.
Right.
So that you can't fault them.
Right.
They're running just on obsolete hardware.
That program doesn't have an empathy.
Yeah.
component.
So it's like, hey, no big deal. I just have to wait for you to die.
Yeah. That's so interesting you say that because sometimes I think to myself, okay, if you know, going back to the Bhagavad Gita, if the fields are stocked with the two warring camps, right? And, you know, you have this one over here and this one over here, and this one over here maybe, you know, so say they've been quote unquote in control of the masses or the majority of the masses for hundreds of years, thousands of years, whatever. You think, oh, they're a pretty formidable foe. Then I realize, oh, well, they're just human beings and they're bound by the same shit we are. And if you have it's like the golden child or it's like the Neo, the one comes up and like, boom, you're done. Or like you say, their operating system can't level up because they're not omnipotent beings.
Right.
You know,
like
and
they make you think.
They make you think that,
right.
But they're human beings. They're going to die just like all of us. And they're limited by perception and understanding and knowledge, right. Just like all of us. They have the same access. And that's why they're not this like unbeatable foe.
Right. Not only that, but they actually have great weakness.
Yes.
Because they don't have empathy.
Yes.
They don't have compassion.
Correct.
So they actually are at a great weakness.
Yeah.
But because they've been around for so long, it still has an influence.
Right.
But 1 or 2 generations from now, they'll be forgotten.
Right.
They'll be dead.
Right.
Average congressman is over the age of 75. Those motherfucking dinosaurs are almost dead.
Yeah.
Average federal workers over the age of 55, they're now retiring in a faster amount, in a greater amount than new people being brought aboard.
Yeah. And no one wants to go work in that shit.
No one wants to work for the evil empire, especially a millennial or even what are we, Gen Z or some shit?
X or whatever.
Yeah, who knows? But
you're right.
we're not going to go work for those scumbags.
Right.
So they're losing. But they still have the propaganda
right, and they have the money and resources that they've acquired over the last number of years. But eventually, what I foresee will happen.
When it really flips, they will lose in a day.
I agree. Yeah.
Billionaires will become broke overnight.
Right. And I think of people that are like the Bill Gateses and the Soros, which maybe have had influence historically. There will come a point in time when people are onto their shit and they cannot have enough money to buy what they fucking need.
100%.
People will be like, I don't want your money or your food. Like, you think anyone's going to buy Bill Gates' food? He's going to lose his ass on that shit.
Not only that, my friend, but when things really change, they are the first in the gallows.
Yeah.
When their whole
people
thing
really
backfires, they talk about this whole storm in the Capitol thing.
Yeah.
That was nothing compared
100%.
to what will happen. Mm-hmm. It's going to be crazy, tarred and feathered.
Because the thing of it is like all the resources they've amassed. So look what they've done. Look what's happening with media. People aren't watching media anymore. That was their major vehicle to propagandize people.
They've got to be like shitting their pants.
I mean, and like no one's going to buy his food. No one's gonna listen to them. No one's gonna. Right. People already are onto his shit. Like, he's yesterday's news.
Right.
And again, who cares if you have all the money in the world? It's useless.
Right.
For people who don't want your stuff.
Right. But I mean, to that point there's also, to all those things, there's a solution that is in play.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to buy the Bill Gates food because there's already other for us in Idaho, especially. Like, there's already other choices.
Yeah.
There are already people. Again, like, people think that like this stuff happens like a light switch, like it's on and off. Like, the solutions are already here.
They're already in play. Like you said, like the Bitcoin and all those decentralization things, they've been growing, and so they're ready to come online as soon as that other thing goes
what
offline.
are you waiting for, man? Freaking Lincoln Financial.
I know.
It's like,
we need to chat about it.
Yeah, I'm 20% on your cash.
Return?
Yeah. Just and that's not even a crypto. That's just on like a cash stable coin. 20% interest we're getting.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, man, the new system, it can't be touched by the old one.
Yeah.
They're just getting wrecked. And then what happens is there's so many cracks in their pillars is that, and the pillars are like let's look at marble pillars, like there's chunks of it just falling off. Right. So it's so weak and fragile that it's not going to take much to just boom. And then you're like, oh shit, man.
Yeah. This is all going to crumble down.
Oh yeah. So that's why I big food, water, guns, ammo. Because if shit really hits the fan, it's like, I'm just going to lock the door.
Yeah.
I got 2 balconies, dude. I'm just going to be hanging out here.
Yeah.
How can I be off the grid? If I got to leave, I got a truck with the thing in the back,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm preparing for the worst, praying for the best.
Same. Mm-hmm.
So, hey, I'm going to eat, drink, and be merry now. But, man, again, like those mile markers, when one goes off, that's a big one, then I'll be like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah. And they've been going off the last couple of years. I think it spurred a lot of people. I know a lot of people who have historically never prepared for stuff. They're like, okay, I'm getting this, getting that,
Oh yeah, man. And we don't know where that spark of inspiration to wake up. Like, how many people, I've got a child who's in public school, but has never really missed any time.
What do you mean? As far as like...
They've never really shut the school down.
Because we're here, right?
Right. But how many other places, lefty or righty, holding on to those ideals, kids' school gets shut down. Now you got those kids with you for 6 months. You're hating your life. You're hating your wife. You freaking... wakes you up.
Yeah.
We don't know how the awakening will manifest.
No. But we do know something. But people sense something's coming in the collective.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm so glad I started waking up in 2006 versus 2022. Because this shit hurts nowadays. Me, like we were saying, like I look and I say...
You had time.
See, that's what I'm saying.
It's exactly how I feel, Gary.
Yes.
It's like... Would you rather come out of anesthesia over the course of 10 years, or would you rather come out over the course of a month?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot easier to come out over 10 years.
Yeah.
than it is of the, that's
yes.
What, then they wake you up and you're like,
yes,
I
see what you mean.
But
oh my God, yeah.
I mean, because you could do it at a pace that was
normal. You guys are catching up 10 years in a year. Oh
that's
my
why
God.
People are so freaked out.
Yes, they're being pulled because the writing's been on the wall since 2006.
Right.
Like the signs, they're getting louder. Everyone gets louder because the louder, it's like yelling at you, wake up.
Yeah.
But you're still snoozing.
Wake up.
Yeah, I heard that call into this.
Yeah,
all
something
the
guided you to go to start the journey. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Question authority, like all this shit. Like I saw through the veil.
Yeah.
Back then, and you're right, and I'm so grateful for that.
You're blessed to have that happen.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah, man. But I mean, not as blessed like, let's say, our kids.
Yeah.
Like I have a kid.
Come in.
Right.
And
Noah, that motherfucker's already so advanced.
Yeah.
Because he's been in a bubble with me, just like
he has talk about like not being attached to those past experiences that can sometimes influence our beliefs or situations.
Right.
He doesn't have that shit. He came in here and they're like, "What's up? This is awesome."
Yeah. Yeah, man, life's good.
Yeah.
Too good. Yeah, it hasn't affected him in one bit. He just
what
are we doing?
Living the dream right now.
100%.
Just like we were when we came in as kids.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any past garbage. That's why kids are all happy and fun. They're like, this is awesome.
Right.
This is Disneyland. And then they get a little bit older and adults keep programming them with the shit like life's hard. You're going to have to work your ass off. You're like, oh. They get bummed out. They're like, dude, you're a bummer.
Yeah, dude. When did that happen?
That's why we love kids so much, because they're just like freaking living the dream.
That's true, man. Yeah. Like no worries in the world. No. Like the worries are so petty.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Playing all day.
Oh, yeah, man. Just party it. Yeah, no responsibilities.
No responsibilities.
People making your food.
Yeah.
Serving you. Tying your shoes.
They're like kings and queens.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm the duty. And they'll come up, tie my shoe.
Uh-huh.
Like, I ain't tying your shoe. I'm not your butler. Get out of my face.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
How old is Noah now?
7.
Okay, so he's in second grade? First grade? First grade.
Yeah.
Dude, nice.
Oh, dude, killing it, man.
I love it.
Yeah, man, life's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Oh, so how many subscribers do you have on YouTube now?
I'm at 1,160.
Dude, that's killer, man.
I'm super pleased because I never. When you start, you don't know how much. You know all the drill. You don't know what's going to do, but I just am through the moon about it, and I so appreciate every subscriber, and I just because I remember when I didn't have any. And I was just, and it's crickets out there. But then you just keep doing the thing and enjoying the process and, growing, evolving. And
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So like the format of your videos, like how exactly has it transformed? Like not so much podcasts or the podcast
I've kind of put the podcast on hold. I'm going to pick it back up again because I did 149 episodes there, and I was starting to kind of, lose a little bit of excitement about doing it. I just wanted a different flavor, so I went more into video and just talking. I have a couple different series that talk about books or information that in the Big Idea series that we stuff we talk about, like all the books we read. I pull out the nuggets, share that, and I just basically just talking about sharing spiritual knowledge. You know what it really is like all the knowledge that we could have got in school. Right. Like if you imagine you went, instead of going to public school and learning cardinal knowledge and mortal knowledge, which is very fucking limited. Very. Imagine if you were taught from a small age, hey, we're making vision boards in kindergarten today. Hey, we're learning how to project our thoughts into the freaking universe and pave our experience. Like that shit, it's all the shit that I wish I would have got as a person. Now gives me the opportunity. It's the same stuff, you're preaching that important high-level knowledge, and of course they didn't get that knowledge because the powers that be don't want us to have, they didn't want us to activate our magical powers.
Yeah, good slave is a disempowered
one. For sure. Like you think they want you to be being bright, shiny light in the world? No, because that way you're going to be like, I'm not doing what you tell me to do anymore. Right. I'm going to go off and build some shit like, Elon Musk style or whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
but it's breaking all down, and
that's
exciting.
Nice. Yeah. Anything else though? Crazy going on?
Just listening to that inner voice and, and doing what it tells me, because it's never going to lie to us, right?
Never.
And it's the only thing for me is like, do I have the courage to do what it says to do?
Right.
Yeah. So I just try to stay in that mode most of the time. And if something doesn't feel right, I don't do it,
Oh, yeah, me too, man. If it doesn't feel right,
yeah,
that's it. I mean, it is. It's like that antenna, those feelers, putting those feelers out into everything.
Yeah, they're coming online a lot,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember a time when it
sensitive.
was like, you had no intuitive guidance, or I had no intuitive guidance, or
Right.
no really. Although that's not true. I think it's like, you get nudges.
It just was covered up by all this shit.
Gunked up. Like, have the third eye gets calcified.
Right.
Maybe those antennas were calcified.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know about calcified more than we just weren't aware.
Right. We didn't use. It's almost like how parts of our bodies we don't use anymore. Like, what is the appendix and stuff like that? I think we have those. We got the hardware to be guided from within, but if you've never been taught how to use it, or it's never been activated,
that's 100% right.
It's useless.
It's
like having a cell phone with no network.
Right.
It's junk.
Right.
It's rock.
Yeah, you can't use it at its highest level. That's a great point. That's wild, man.
Yeah, but I'm just keep returning back to the spiritual, reading Neville Goddard, reading those spiritual books, and I started reading the Bible more, the Revelation. People were saying, "Hey, you should read this shit." I've never been a big Bible person myself. Have you been a big Bible reader?
Never.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I know it from his manifestation and spirituality quips here and there, but I never really dove into it. It's trippy.
Is it?
Yeah, I started reading Revelation, started watching a bunch of videos about Revelation, just because a lot of people think this is like, end of
Could have been, man. I mean, those guys were big into psychedelics.
Yeah.
So they were eating mushrooms and probably time traveling for sure, and telling you about things that they saw. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah. What about you? What's coming up what's on your plate for future creations and or speaking the good truth?
Just this. I mean, doing the podcast. I still teach the class, Science of Getting Rich.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah, every Saturday. Just had it today.
Dude, awesome.
Yeah.
You beam live from right here? Right
in here. In fact, that was the lesson for today.
Dude.
Just right on the chalkboard. Yeah, man, we're growing fast. Like 30 new people in the Discord, 31
Is that where you do it through Discord? Or
we broadcast through Zoom. But then Discord is where you can download everything. That's where the community is. There's a lot of accountability in there. And it's great.
Oh, so Discord is your group, is the group where people can interact. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, let's say instead of using a private Facebook group, we use Discord.
Why do you choose Discord as opposed to private Facebook? Just because you can own more of the platform? So
it's just more organized. You have different channels. So like we have a channel that's just downloads where you can go download the books, because everything I give away is free.
Is that so?
It's all free.
Wow.
So like...
Yeah, I saw your post the other day with your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
this
okay?
book's all free. You can just go download it and print it out. So this is a personal inventory, but there's 12 weeks,
I'll have to
12
go check
lessons.
that out, dude.
Yeah, and then there's a daily planner, which is what I post every day.
To make sure you're on your habits and goals.
And then we
post
post and stuff like these in the Discord.
For accountability.
But not only that, is I've even every Saturday, as part of the live mastermind meeting, I give away $100 in Bitcoin.
Oh,
but in
really?
order to qualify, you have to post
your thing
every day, because we do morning and after and evening. So you write your vision statement twice. What did you do that day to get you closer to your goals?
Yeah.
What did you learn? We have to post with a link or share the Instagram
where they post it, so they can post it on whatever social they want, but then they link it to the Discord, or they
tag us, which grows
on social.
Yep.
Okay, so so it's not all in Discord. They're sharing this stuff in social.
Yep.
Tagging other people.
Tagging the Science of Getting Rich. Tagging our Instagram.
Okay, sure.
So we tags that or mentions or however it works. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the purpose in everything is to drive new people to the Discord.
Sure.
That's where you get everything. I recorded the audiobook.
Dude, this looks great.
It is, man. Yeah, we got a great team in India.
Is it that who partners with you to make all this material and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks beautiful. Oh
yeah, they've done a fantastic job. But not only that is what we've done is there's 17 chapters in the original Science of Getting Rich. I've recorded the audio, and we've remade video chapters that are on YouTube. So we've taken the narration and we've made like a video to go along with each chapter.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you have a separate YouTube channel just for this?
Yes.
Okay, because I've been to your original YouTube. I'll have to get that information from you, that YouTube channel. What's the YouTube? Is that where this goes up on that?
Yes.
I've been to Gary Gilgan, but what's your other YouTube channel?
It's called The Certain Way.
The Certain Way. That's why I didn't know about
you.
it. Yeah, do it. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one. I don't really post on my personal too much
I didn't
anymore.
see that. Yeah, I didn't see that.
It's mostly all around this.
Yeah.
But then, that's where these podcasts go now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I see you're back on. You're back because for a while you did kind of tuned out social, but are you back on social a little bit?
Just Instagram. I just post my daily things on Instagram. But and my Instagram's linked to my Facebook. So whenever I post on my stories,
Okay, so you're.
But also the guys, my team, they post on my Facebook.
Oh,
so they're the one.
Like, is it a Facebook page called The Certain Way as well, or is that your?
No,
Gary
that's
Gilgan
my
page?
Gary Gilgan one. Just to again try to
get the word out.
Any of those people who've been following me. Yeah, to go check this stuff out.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely check it out, and I want to get that YouTube channel too because I see you're Gary Gilgan. That's where I watched your recent video.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you had this other.
Oh yeah, we've got some great stuff.
Dude.
Yeah, that'll be like long time assets because these chapters in this book.
Well, this is like, awesome knowledge for people.
Right. And the cool thing that you might like, it's all public domain.
Is it?
Yeah, so I was able to take the original book.
Oh, is it past that 100 years or whatever?
And so I made the audio. So now we have it on Audible, iTunes, because I could recreate it without any copyright.
Sure, without having it.
I could rewrite the book and finesse the terminology.
Update it a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and then we give it all away.
Sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait to go check it out. I had no idea. This looks awesome.
Thanks a lot. Yeah,
I mean, I see you did a lot of work. Whoever did, you and your team did a lot of work to do that.
Oh yeah, man, it's fantastic. So yeah, we just study one lesson every week. So we just finished this lesson 4.
Yeah, that's super pro.
Oh yeah, they've done it.
And you got your brand. It's all your brand colors and stuff like that.
Yep.
Dude, nice. And so here's your templates to do your daily.
That's right. Yep.
Shoot.
Yeah, man. Oh, and then at the end of 12 weeks, we do a big party where we do like a $1,200 giveaway.
Oh, really?
The goal is to get to like take 10% of however much we get in donations and give that away back to
donations
the
from.
Because while we give it all away, we ask for donations.
Oh, okay. So, to be part of the, I got you. Yeah.
For marketing and paying
facilitating
the guys
this and doing your stuff. Yeah, exactly. For sure.
With the goal is, in fact, even this last week, I don't know how much you had to have heard in the zeitgeist, but we're creating an NFT.
I have heard. I've been watching that. I saw your NFT post of Joaquin Phoenix and Joker saying, "You're putting in your makeup, getting ready to go to work when someone sold an NFT for $439,000." Yeah, I saw that. Now, do you own NFTs yet?
I own one that I created.
Oh, you did?
It's actually a trust that I converted to an NFT.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, so now, like, let's say my trust and all of the assets contained therein, let's say it's worth $10 million.
Yeah.
Well, what I can do is within that NFT, I can give like, just to verify that, hey, that it's really worth that.
Sure.
Just showing our P&L, showing crypto addresses, stuff like that. What I can then do is now I can take that NFT and I can tokenize it.
Okay.
So I can take and I can say, hey, I just had this idea that I think is $1 billion idea and I'm trying to raise $100 million. Mm-hmm. So with this NFT, here's my credentials from the past.
The value from the NFT.
Right.
And
I'm trying to raise that money. So
with the NFT as backed by like a gold backing dollar kind of a thing.
Right.
Yeah, I was listening to Joe Rogan to have that guy Beeple.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that I don't know much about it, but he's saying like it's infinite what can be done with NFTs. Like you can link them up in any way with social causes or charities or whatever.
Oh yeah, man, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. To me, that's another just a big...
For me, it's like...
Well, not only that, my friend, that is our generation gap.
In what sense?
Is that if you don't learn about NFTs in the metaverse, we will get left behind.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like the people that are in their 80s
that didn't learn about
computers
or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Right. That's where they got left behind. So...
Yeah, I need to get on that.
Yes, or you'll get left behind.
Well, like I said...
And that's where death comes from.
Right. And
keeping up.
Yeah, once I get that, and I definitely want to get some knowledge from you on that. But that's why I wasn't only on YouTube, but went into the Odyssey, went into the
great job.
Rumble, will fire a BitChute, because I want to embrace all those technologies, right?
Right.
And stay viable.
Yes.
You know, and every new social media, I just barely got on Getter, the new Twitter variant, you know, that. Is coming online. There's and TikTok. I mean, embracing TikTok, which was weird at first. I'm like, I don't want to sing, but I don't have to sing. I just do my, share this knowledge, and things will happen. But I'm not. I'm very, I'm doing to do whatever it takes to stay on that wave.
Right.
However uncomfortable it is.
Right. Yes.
Even driving over here, my new thing this last couple months is, that YouTube channel Yes Theory. Their whole thing is seek discomfort.
Right.
And as a recovering comfortaholic, that's where I need to be.
Yes. Always.
Right on that edge of,
yourself.
Oh shit, this is very scary.
Right.
But like we talked about, once
path.
you do it, the warrior's path, once you do it a couple times, you're like, it's not that scary.
Right.
And once you've been in battle with your own self, your own fear in your mind, you're like, Yeah,
we live in a world where all battles are fought with words.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's how we use those words with ourselves. And around others.
That's exactly why I started speaking up. I'm like, it's a war of words now. It could potentially be a war of physical, but if right now it's a war of words, wouldn't you rather fight with words and craft a saying that's maybe going to make someone? Well, even I posted something on my Instagram about this idea. Everyone was harping on Joe Rogan. I don't know how long we can go here. About misinformation. They're saying Joe Rogan spread misinformation when he had these two characters on the podcast.
Right.
And I did a video, and I'm like, everything everyone says is misinformation, because we're not omnipotent, all-knowing beings. We have limited perception, understanding, and this whole. But that's the old people trying to play us. It's all in misinformation. Right. We always get it wrong. Like we're getting it wrong right now.
Yes, it's only by getting it wrong do we adjust.
Exactly, and
idiots.
You got to have all the info. You got to have everyone speaking their truth.
Yes,
even the crazy guy in the corner.
Yes,
he's part of the equation. 100%. You don't shut anyone up.
Yeah,
and my cousin was like, good point. I'm like, well, that's what it feels like to me. You can't censor people. They're all valuable to the conversation.
Yes, all of it. It's a great point, man.
When you see injustice in the world and people doing stupid things, I'm compelled to say, hey, that's just me adding. Hell, I could be wrong, but I'm compelled to say it. So
yeah, you could spark an inspirational thought that changes the world in someone else by what you say.
We got to speak our truth when it comes up. That's one of my new things. It's like, if you have an idea, if you have something you think would be valuable, get it and share it. Again, courage.
Yeah, man. Who is this guy?
I just want to grow and be the best version.
Yeah, man, you're killing it. Are you still doing TM?
I do TM, yes.
Consistently?
Not as consistently as I could, for sure.
Okay.
What about you?
Once a day minimum.
It's still a gift, no matter when I do it.
For sure.
It's the bomb, and I'm doing a lot of just speaking the mantra. I do a lot of the Om, speaking out of sitting there with Om, and also
you literally say it out.
Yeah, I say it out loud.
Oh
yeah.
Wow, okay.
I've done it on videos too, but because I'm like, that's a fucking magical mantra that can heal the universe. Man,
you're killing it, bro.
Well, earlier this year, when people, you can feel the world is stressed, and I'm like, hey, remember, you have the fucking magical mantra.
Wow, that's a great point.
Like people, not everyone knows that shit.
And and it's not cliche. That's a very powerful tone or mantra.
Does.
It will fucking change
you up
in the moment. Yeah. It like aligns your cells. Like it's weird.
Even saying it one time.
Yeah. Don't think this shit's weird.
No.
Like it is until you feel its power. Then you're like, oh dang.
Yeah.
It's the same as like, why you saying amen after Uncle Ralph freaking bless your turkey dinner, you know?
Yeah.
Duh. You guess that's what when people, because me, like my invisible man is totally different than everybody else's, but it's like, you're telling me guess what? You believe in an invisible man too.
Yeah.
So like, how are you saying I'm wrong?
Yeah,
it's
you're
like,
weird,
dude, you you got an invisible man.
Yeah.
Gosh,
and that's what I think needs to happen is all people need to speak their truth, and that just lights up the world. And then one person does it, and another person is a little more inspired to speak their truth, and it just that's why I do what I do. And I saw people doing what looked fun, and then I'm like, I want to do that, you know. They inspired me to do it. We're all inspired one another.
That is ultimately it is our dharma.
To speak to be ourselves. Yeah, for sure.
We came here to do that. Like that is what we came here to do.
Let it out.
And sometimes, I don't know about you, but it can be hard.
It for sure.
That imposter syndrome. Like, dude, why am I saying this? Like, why am I doing this?
My life's not perfect. Yeah, for sure.
What am I doing?
Yeah. And then that comes back to that's part of the challenge is like, okay, you know, how do you say it in a way that doesn't make you, lord over them like a superior being, but also shares the message. Yes. And then it's like that crafting it in a way that where you're still there equal on one sense. And well, we are, you're
all just
walking
playing
the path.
The game.
We're all playing the game.
Fucking game.
Yeah. But it's like, it's kind of like if you found a treasure, a power-up button, you'd be like, guys, I found the power-up button.
Come and check this out. Yeah, come get some of this fucking Bitcoins, guys.
If you do it out of love
and
say it out of love, it's never going to come off wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I love you guys. Come on, get some power on this.
See, I said I love you, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
See,
I told you, idiots, get over here and get this shit.
Come on, gosh. You still haven't done it yet? What are you, fucking stupid?
I know.
These
and
are
it's
free
infinite.
coins.
It's a free coin. It's an infinite.
Yes.
You can't exhaust this power.
Right, man.
All those spiritual things,
Yes. Gosh, that's a good point. So, because sometimes I have trouble with that, being on that dharma, because the program comes up of not good enough, not
like,
worthy,
who am I,
not
kind
valuable,
of thing,
right? But it's like, dude, just keep going.
Yeah,
like, just keep going.
And also talking to the people who want to listen. That's when another real shift. See, I've it's like this focus. It's like if I'm talking with someone who wants to hear it, they want me to say it.
Right.
But people who don't want it, if I'm focusing on the people who who I feel don't, I could even be 100% wrong. So it's all a figment of our imagination, right? If I think to myself, oh, they don't want to hear it, then they won't want to hear it.
Right.
But if I think to myself, there's someone out there that needs to hear this, I better say it, even if it's just one person. And then those other people know I'm not talking to them. But you know what? They're going to probably listen too, because when you're talking to one person directly that needs to hear what you're saying, other people want to hear it too.
100%, man. Yeah, because people
all our own...
more than ever are just so hungry for this stuff.
And to see people, being courageous or speaking their truth. I mean, who doesn't get off on that?
I mean, that's a good point. Yeah, I respect people that don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, and that go against the grain a little bit and 100%. Say, hey, that's not the way to be.
Yeah, all the way against the grain. I'm down with that.
Yeah, you're counterculture type guy.
Oh, man.
Not gonna play that game.
Leave me alone.
Right? Yeah.
Fucking leave me alone.
Do you follow Dan McDonald, the life regenerator?
Oh my God! Of course I do.
I got to share a clip with you. Did you see his comeback video? He took a year off social, remember?
Yep.
And he took a year out. That dude is a fucking badass. He went on a rant, and when you say leave me alone, he was talking about the government. He's like, I don't believe in your science. I don't want to be part of your thing. I don't want your money. He's like, leave me alone. And then he's like, can you dig it? I'll share it with you. It's freaking awesome.
Nice, yeah.
He's my hero.
I love him.
Like that dude is
great.
A hero. Talk about living on the fringe.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, straight in the fringe.
Yeah, to take a year off of all social, all things, and just go. I don't even know what he did, but he, and honestly, when I watch him talk about a guy who is in between the ethereal and the physical,
right?
He's almost like he could just freaking vaporize out. That's how I feel about him.
Really?
It's when
Yeah,
when you eat that clean and think of those thoughts for that long and be that far out of the matrix.
Right. Yeah, he's vibing.
Just transcendent.
He's tuned into a radio station we aren't tuned into.
And see, most people, I was going to share that video on social because I just laughed at it. I can't get enough of it. When he's on his rant, talking about how sick the system is and how he doesn't want any part of it. But then I didn't post it because I felt it would trigger in a negative way some people. Because he is being critical. He's like, I don't, if you tell people that what you're doing is shitty and wrong, or not, well, in a way that's what he's doing. He's like, that's not the path. It could trigger some people. So I just kept it to myself, share it with a few people that are right. It's like if you have a cool thing that some people aren't going to get and others are, you're not going to show it to the whole world.
Especially if you know that fact.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a guy like that, he's so far on the fringe.
Oh, yeah.
That he,
most of the people aren't going to appreciate it.
They're not. They're going to look at him like he's a crazy man.
Yeah.
Like they did with Jesus.
Yes. But now he's badass, dude. That's cool. Yeah.
I love that guy.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man.
Awesome, Gary. Thank you.
Dude, 2 hours, man.
I love it. I appreciate this. This is awesome. Great. I can't wait to check out your other channel.
Yeah. I'm excited too.
For sure.